A very warm greeting to all my dear beloved students. Here, our journey continues, and we are searching for the best entry into the international market. I mean that our journey of the various modes of entry into the international business and the strategies has not come to the conclusion. Now, there is a quick recap as we learned about international financing, a very interesting concepts, the control, the royalty, blah, yeah, the international franchising, the control, the royalty, blah, blah, and the various benefits we have learned even that you have in the session number 21. The contents are you'll be learning about contract manufacturing, another very interesting way of entering into international business, then business process outsourcing. Again, these two are, to a certain extent, I feel these two are, have some similarity, but they're totally different. Modes of entry to international market, special modes, as you know, there are contract manufacturing. Contract manufacturing means you're an organization. What are you going to do? You do not produce the product. You just concentrate on the marketing. Some businesses, they do not produce the products. They actually give the contract of producing those products to some other company in some other country, or they can give even to the individuals or to some parties. This is what it's called outsourcing. They outsource what they're outsourcing. They outsource the entire production and concentrate on only marketing activities. Example, entire other part or entire production. Either they can give half of it, 75% or total 100% of production to be done by various countries. For example, Bata, Nike, and Puma. These companies, what they do, they go for contract manufacturing. They do not have their factories. I mean, they do not have their production units. If even they're having, they're limited in numbers, and their production is spread all over the world. I mean, spread all over the world or in different countries. They're gonna give the contract for other companies or other bodies where which is very flexible for them, or which is very beneficial for them. They're gonna give the orders. If they're gonna give, actually we cannot say they're gonna give the orders. They're gonna outsource a part of production. They will just give a contract to them that they are supposed to produce this many of products. They get the product from them, and later they will sell. Okay, this is called as contract manufacturing, and contract manufacturing is also the best way of entry into the international business. Okay, this is what you can, if you want to start a company and you're good at marketing operations and production. Either you're not willing, or you can think that there is some other better locations where the production can be done, then contract manufacturing is the best way for you to go international. Advantages of contract manufacturing. The first advantage is reduce cost of production. Advantages of contract manufacturing is a reduced cost of production. Here, because even if you are trying to produce, you're supposed to pay for the employees, pay for the lighting, you're going to pay for the building, the rent, you're going to pay the electricity bill, you're going to pay for various facilities. If your company people, apart from the blue collar, you are supposed to have the white collar people as well. If you are employing them, you're supposed to have a garage, you're supposed to have lots and lots of finance to invest in that. and of course a car parking facility too, and that's really very hard these days and really very expensive these days. Then you have helps to development of small and medium industries. This is a best way of helping others as well, because you are creating employment by the way of contract manufacturing. You are By the way of contract manufacturing, you're giving the contract of manufacturing or production to other people in the other country, so you are creating jobs. But you're creating job in other countries. Locational advantages. This best fits where there is a locational advantages. If your product requires a particular material and you're outsourcing the contract of and you're outsourcing the manufacturing, the entire function of manufacturing or production to the companies in that location, you're there will be locational advantages. The first thing is that there will be no transportation cost. The second thing is that the cost of the production is going to be less. The economies of scale will also be working in your favor. Then you have disadvantages of contract manufacturing. As you're not manufacturing, you're giving the contract to somebody else. They might not do with the same precision or precaution, and they might be tempted to use the lesser quality raw materials for the production of the goods, because the manufacturing has been outsourced. You are in some other country, they are in some other country. There is always a problem, and there might be few minor changes in the design, which can be a big problem for companies which has uh, a big reputation in the market. Poor working countries and the host countries companies affect the company's images. If I want to take and no, let me not give my example. If someone want to take some of people of higher living standard, you know, and the people in well developed countries, they like to they like they like to purchase the products which are produced in highly developed countries rather than coming from poor countries, okay, of which they don't even have an idea unless until it is famous for some natural resources for which is a part of that particular product. Uncertainty. You're gonna give orders, you're gonna market the products, but the production is not done, it's not completed. You have given the order, you have contracted a manufacturer for the production of some 1,000 units. He's just ready with 500 units, and even after repetitive attempts, the situation remains the same. Okay, this happens. It's one of the disadvantages. Leakage of the trade secrets is also one of the disadvantages that you can see. Then the business process outsourcing. Business process outsourcing is a method of subcontracting various business related operations to the third party vendors. Here, you see in the contract manufacturing, it was just a manufacturing which was contracted. It was outsourced, just the manufacturing we were doing from other place. We were getting the products produced from different places. But in the business process outsourcing, this is a very, very popular and for very, very popular in the developed countries, because the labor there is not cheap. So they're gonna outsource most of their operations, which requires cheap labor to the developing countries, or even sometimes to the underdeveloped countries. Here, what happens? The first of all, they get labor cheap, okay, and faster availability of highly. Sometimes India is a place of highly skilled and highly qualified people, although the labor is cheap. And faster adoption of well-defined business processes leads to higher productivity gains without compromising on the quality. Here, BPOs, there are so many BPOs, as you say, call centers. Call center is also a part of BPO, business process outsourcing. That is, they're not doing any business. They're not establishing companies. The companies which are established somewhere in some part of the world, like take example Australia's Canberra or Sydney or Japan's Tokyo, they'll be having their they'll be outsourcing some part, might be paperwork or might be customer care or any kind of these these operations will be outsourced to different countries and different organizations in different countries, and this results in higher productivity without compromising on the quality. This is what we have learned in today's session. This is what is contract manufacturing and business process outsourcing. Some beautiful way of, I mean, innovative way of entering into international business. It is risk free. Yes, some kind of risk is there, but the finance what you invest, the amount what you invest is really less. Is really comparatively less. I cannot say it's less. It's comparatively and relatively less than other way of entering into the international business. Now, let us go to the last in a session of the second chapter of the international business, and what a journey it is, what a journey it has been. We were learning different ways of entering into international business. Now let us see what this session entails for you guys. It but before that, a quick recap. We have contract manufacturing and business process outsourcing. Management contract. We have heard about contract manufacturing. There is a management contract, and you can gauge about this. What can it be by just reading? Because as we have already done contract manufacturing, this is management contract. That means this is an agreement between two companies, different of two different nations or two or more nations, two companies of different nations, wherein they come together, have an agreement, okay, have an agreement that one company helps other company in the management of various operations. The entire managerial assistance, technical expertise, specialized services will be provided by another company, by one company to another company. Think, for example, there are two companies, an Indian company, and let us continue with the Geo example. There is a company called Geo in India, okay, and this company has, signs an agreement signs a contract between with some company in countries like, for example, Georgia. Okay, Georgia, for example, take some underdeveloped countries, Timor Leste. Okay, if this a country, the Geo, have an agreement with the country Timor Leste, which is in Southeast Asian region. They have a contract to develop 4G network in that place. They have a contract to develop 4G network in the place. The contract main thing, the main clause in the contract is that Geo will be helping the companies in the Timor Leste in the helping their giving them managerial assistance, technical expertise, and specialized services. These services they give so that to make the company in the Timor Leste, okay, to function properly, to function at the top efficiency, okay, to increase their efficiency to the maximum level and to help them attain their objectives and goals. This is what we call as a management contract. This is a management contract. That was contract manufacturing, wherein you outsource your manufacturing. Here, you ask help from the other countries to manage your operations because you might not have the required technical expertise or the assistance and even the specialized services. Then there is a turnkey project. When I was studying in the college, I always was fascinated by its name, Turnkey Project. It's like turnkey and give it. It's that simple. A turnkey project is a contract between two companies, again of two different nations, or two or more nations. Okay, it's between a firms. Okay, between firms or companies. Firms is a company or a corporation. Between corporations to fully design, construct, equip, and manufacture a business or even service facilities, and turn the project over to the purchaser when it is ready for the operation remuneration. This is what we understand from this turnkey project. This means a company, for example, nuclear power and nuclear projects, okay, nuclear power stations. There are so many nuclear power stations built by, with the collaboration with the Russian companies. It can be built. It can be built on this on the base of turnkey project. Um, it can be built in the base of turnkey project, where in a company, like let us take an example. India wants to build a highly specialized nuclear power station. Okay, though we are very good in the nuclear technology, but still we are, uh, but still it is very nice and a better option to take the help from other countries as well who are advanced in this particular field, like Russia, because we have so much good contact with Russia. You know, there are so many projects. Okay, that is running in collaboration between the Russian and Indian firms. Let us take the example of Russian firm. Think that India wants Russia to build a project in India, and they have to design, construct, equip, and manufacture and service facility, as well as sometimes what happens is they ask them to run for some time. Okay, it's like build a house, okay, and you need to build a house build a house, put all the furnitures and as well as all the facilities from cable to the Wi-Fi facilities and the water facilities, electric facilities, and be in that home for some point of time, for some particular period of time, and then you can give the keys to the owner. That is what it is. And let me tell you in with some other example. I think that let me take the power station example. Nuclear power station or power plant, whatever you want to say. Nuclear power plant to be developed by in collaboration with Russian firm. Okay, so what India agrees with the Russian firm, what Indian firm, like take example of any company, take company A in India is having a contract with company B in Russia. These two companies come together, wherein company A in India as the company B to build a nuclear power plant, to build a nuclear power plant and operate it for some time, build nuclear power plant, construct it, equip, design, manufacture the power plant, uh, design and equip a power plant, and even operate for some period of time, and later turn the key, and later give give the entire ownership and not the ownership, give the because ownership is already with the company A. So give the operation, hand over the keys of that particular power plant to the company A, which is in India, that is called as a, so that It can run on its own. This is called as a turnkey project. It's a very popular way of entering into the international business. The company B in Russia is entering into the international business by the way of turnkey project. Greenfield strategy is nothing but starting from a scratch in the foreign market. It is one of the very popular strategies. It's one of the popular way of entering into the international market, and it's very popular these days with all this dynamic young budding entrepreneurs who want to take all the risks and enter into the international business. Then you have foreign direct investments, which you might be hearing now and then in the news or in the newspaper. The foreign direct investment invest their money, establish manufacturing and marketing facilities, ownership and control. FDI is a very simple way. It's a foreign direct investment, which you have already learned in your previous in the previous classes. Then you have advantages of greenfield strategy. Select best location. If you're starting from the scratch, you can select the best location. You need not to be in any of the country. You can go to the particular specific country where the location has so many advantages, enjoys incentives, rebates, and concessions. Many countries come to India basically majorly because there are so many incentives, rebates, and concessions that are provided by the government for the development of the industries over here. Get latest technology and layouts, because if you are starting your company, if you are starting a company from the scratch in foreign countries like Germany, France, or for that matter even in Italy, you might have access to the latest technology and layout, have its own policies and styles of human resources. You can gather the human resources not from different kinds of people working in an organization, especially if you do it in EU. It's an advantageous decision. Avoid cultural shock. It is also one of the advantages. Longer gestation period. Company may not get the land. Disadvantages here: longer gestation period, because you are starting from the scratch means from the land, purchase the land, build the organize build a building, then bring all the machinery, employ all the people, and it takes lots and lots of years for you to start making profit. So it's a longer gestation period. Company may not get the land in location of choice. This is what is happening in many countries with many companies. So they are forced to take the land in location or the choice, which is not so fruitful for them. Rules and regulations of the host countries. Rules and regulations of the host countries becomes very difficult if they are not easy to understand, complex in the character, complex. This is what, if there is different rules and regulations, and in the very important, the political factor, political stability. If the political stability is not there, might be one government comes, they might have different rules, another government gonna scrap all those rules. You're just stuck up in the middle, and it becomes very complex and difficult for an organization which goes for the greenfield strategy to solve that. Opposition from the locals. Sometimes what happened in the power plant, nuclear power plant, there were a lot of, although if there are a lot of, opposition from the locals, because you're going in a new country. People might not like any other really foreign company coming and disturbing their place. So there is always an opposition from the locals. If you wanna start from the scratch and try to earn profit under the greenfield strategy, these are the various disadvantages of greenfield strategy. And this is it for the second session. And hope so. The journey of this journey this journey uh, was a very this journey was a nice one, wherein you understood the various ways of modes of entering an international business. Perhaps when you get an opportunity of becoming an entrepreneur, or if anybody are deciding to become an entrepreneur, and sometimes when you go for international, when you want to go international, this will this will help. Thank you very much, and have a great day.